Hey there, boils and ghouls. It's your friend Tats, and I'm back with another video. Yeah, we got a nice, beautiful 4K Blu-ray we're going to review today. Thank you to Lionsgate for this. We have the 4-disc collector's edition of Stephen King's The Mist. And man, I am actually really happy to have this. Yeah, just came out today. I know that there's a Best Buy Steelbook you can get your hands on, but here we go. The 4 discs and on the back. So, uh, one thing I will say though, it does come with a digital code. So the only problem is though is I believe the digital code only works for the 1080p version, not the 4K version. So, but anyway, so yeah, here we go. We got look at that. Man, that's a hell of a slipcover they got on there, isn't it? So anyway, take that off. It's pretty much the same thing. So yeah. And then what's kind of nice is you got your 4 discs here. Hang on a second. There is, unfortunately though, you can kind of see there is a little bit of the gas inside the case there. Kind of see a little of that. But this kind of helps you out though. What's kind of nice about that? Because here you go. You got disc 1, which is The Mist on 4K, the color version. And you got The Mist Disc 2, the 4K, which is the black and white version. Which, I don't know. I'm pretty sure, fans of the movie already know why this is, but just in case if somebody who's not in the know, the reason behind that is when Stephen King wrote he put it together, his book of short stories, Skeleton Crew, he put in the story, The Mist in there, and he did these kind of like little sections where he would talking about the stories and talking about like his inspiration for some of these stories. And with The Mist, he had talked about his inspiration for the story was like he started thinking about like old kind of like Roger Corman or Burt I. Gordon kind of films, old creature features and stuff like this. And he said, he kind of had that mindset, like growing up and watching a lot of those old monster movies and things like that. And so he said, like if he had written in his thoughts on in Skeleton Crew, he had written that if this story had ever been made into a movie, he would really love for it to be in black and white because, like that was his thought process. And so when Frank Darabont made the movie, obviously, with the way things are nowadays, I mean, it's super rare if you can get a black and white movie out anymore. Maybe once in a while something will pop up like The Lighthouse or something like that, but for the most part, yeah, it's nearly impossible to get black and white movies anymore. So what ends up happening is filmmakers, and in this case Frank Darabont, what they have to do is they have to make kind of a sacrifice. They have to shoot the movie and do it in color and everything else, put it in theaters in color. But then when they get to the, the video release and stuff, or even streaming, then they're like, hey, the original idea was for this movie to be in black and white, so I'm going to do a black and white version. And so from every iteration of this movie, from DVD to Blu-ray to 4K, now, there's always, he's always tried to have a black and white version included with the movie because that's the way Stephen King wanted it, and Darabont wanted to honor Stephen King's wishes. So anyway, so enough of that. And now we're going to get to our Blu-rays. That's the color version in Blu-ray. Then we got the black and white, which you can see. Yeah, you see, unfortunately, like I said, you see there's a lot of gas in that case. Look at that. But anyway, so, yeah, I'm going to have to clean that up. But overall, yeah, the discs are in pretty good condition, so no problems there. So, yeah, you see that there. That's pretty good. So, yeah, I'm surprised. I figured these discs would be a lot dirtier. But, anywho, so we got this. And, first of all, like both versions of the film on 4K do come with, HDR, Dolby Vision. You got Dolby Atmos. And, I will say the black and white version, while it does look good, it's not really. There is a difference. I think some people would kind of notice that, but between newer movies and like older movies, there's kind of a difference, when you do an older movie in 4K that's in black and white versus a newer movie. A newer movie still, it's like it looks good, and one thing I will say is kind of nice is that it definitely helps smooth out the HDR in both the color and the black and white version. It definitely smooths out, some of the CGI, because that's one thing I will say about the Blu-ray is when you're okay. Let's take for example the scene in the back storeroom of the grocery store. When they're messing around with the generator and stuff, and they open the door and the tentacles come in and start attacking the Norm character and things like that. Like one thing I noticed is like, yeah, the HDR and everything definitely smooths out the CGI and everything. It makes it look a little bit more organic. Not much, but a little bit more organic. Same thing in the color version. When comparing those scenes. But one thing I will say that kind of works really well is, if you listen to Darabont in his commentary or in his interviews, he said that what he wanted to do was he wanted the both versions of the film. He said, he kind of wanted to do kind of like the black and white version was meant to be like the Burt I. Gordon movies of the 50s or 60s, kind of like stuff like, Attack of the Colossal, or Attack of the Colossal Man or War of the Colossal Beast, stuff like that. And then he wanted the color version to become more like the Burt I. Gordon of the 70s, with stuff like, like Food of the Gods or something like that, And here, with the HDR and everything, you kind of get that little bit more of a sense, like the color version does kind of feel a little bit more like it does kind of feel a little bit more kind of like one of those like monster movies from the 70s, you get a nice, it's not too grainy, but, it's not really polished either. You do get a nice level, I think, of grain and everything. It kind of gives that movie a little bit of that feel, but I will say there is a difference though when you compare like an older movie though in black and white to a newer movie. It's like a newer movie still seems to still have a level of brightness to it, which I mean, it like I said, it doesn't look bad. It's totally watchable and stuff, but I will say kind of like yeah, like when you're looking at older film, it seems kind of like the black and the black and white is richer or something like that. It's like it's kind of hard to describe, but there is something about like an older movie in black and white when you're looking at it is something more aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but I mean it's totally watchable. I mean you could definitely watch it and you'd be fine. Okay, so on the 4K, disc one is movie in color. Disc two is the 4K of the movie in black and white. I already told you that. Disc three is the movie in color, and disc four is the movie in black and white. You do get on all four discs. You get the audio commentary with writer director Frank Darabont and producer Denise Huff, and then Blu-ray only. Really, there's no new bonus features. If you had gotten any of the two disc versions in the past, whether it's the DVD or the Blu-ray, they pretty much just imported the same bonus features, so there's nothing really new there. Deleted scenes with optional commentary by Frank Darabont, a conversation with Stephen King and Frank Darabont, over 2 hours of total bonus material. So, like I said, you're not really getting anything new, but, um, you know, I think that this movie is definitely going to sell well. And I do think, I am glad to have it on 4K and I'm happy with it. And just overall, it's a great film and definitely glad to have it, just in time for Halloween. And, I would say, yeah, I mean, I imagine probably some people are probably going to be like, well, there's no new bonus features or something like that, and I'll probably wait till it goes down in price or something. That's up to you, but I do think that The Mist is definitely worth a pickup on 4K. I would say, like I said, I think just that the color version looks just a little bit better than the black and white version. Not that the black and white version is bad. I'm just saying, just kind of, I don't know, just like I said, you kind of, you know, um, especially if you after you've watched a number of older black and white films on 4K, and you kind of see the way they're doing. You almost kind of expect the newer films almost have that kind of Sin City look, almost, look like the movie Sin City or something. But still, though, I mean, it looks good, and I definitely recommend it. It's like, yeah, this movie is totally worth it. So, um, I'm so glad we got this, and thank you Lionsgate for this bad boy, and I'm happy. So, yeah. So now I can say I have The Mist. I don't think I'll be buying this flick again. At least I don't think so. So that's it. Put it back, and that's one thing I will say. This thing comes with a hell of a slipcover, though, too. Like that part, though, you gotta be careful trying to get it in there. But I mean, look at that slipcover, man. Is that something else or what? A nice gloss to it and everything. So, but oh yeah. But yeah, I think that's about all I can say about it. But yeah, The Mist is definitely worth a pickup on 4K, and it's totally worth owning. And I'm so glad to know I finally have this. So, and in 4 disc, and that's another thing I'm so glad about. I mean, they definitely could have, they really could have, butchered this release and stuff. Especially for an American release. I mean, like I'll get to that when I talk about the Wicker Man 4K. So. But anyway, so that's going to do it. So if anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it, and I appreciate you for doing it. I honestly hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, could you please leave it a like? And if you haven't already, go subscribe to my channel, and there's definitely more on the way. And, oh yeah, do yourself a favor, especially now, the Halloween season. You want a good, scary, excellent horror film? The Mist is definitely going to fill that for you, so... Take care, everybody. Have a good night, and I'll see you later.